Hello, thanks for joining me today. This is Danny and welcome back to my modded 1.10.2 series. Today we are going to be playing around with Immersive Engineering. Hooray! We finally got the Immersive Engineering mod in 1.10.2 available to us general public people. And of course the first thing you're going to want to do when you play around with this mod is to read the engineer's manual and earn the achievement RTFM, which I already did. What we're going to be doing today mostly is playing around with power gen. In fact, we're going to be playing around with passive power gen today with Immersive Engineering. And in doing so, we're going to end up setting up kind of our basic infrastructure for Immersive Engineering and get ourselves ready to move on to the next tiers. My ultimate kind of end goal today is to make a windmill and a watermill. So what we're going to need for resources is we're going to need a couple of these kinetic dynamos. They're like kinetic engines that produce RF with kinetic energy, so with movement. So, and you hook things up to the kinetic dynamo that rotate, and that's what generates the RF. So we're going to need two of these, one for the windmill and one for the watermill, and they're actually pretty cheap. It's just couple redstone, iron, and then we're going to need a bunch of copper. We're going to need an engineer's hammer for lots of things. For our watermill, which is, we're actually going to make 3 of these water wheels, so 12 water wheel segments, which means we're going to need a whole bunch of treated wood. Treated wood is made with creosote oil and wood planks. So we're going to need a whole bunch of creosote oil, and we're going to find out how to make that in a bit. In the windmill, there's a regular windmill, which requires more treated wood. But what I would really like to make is the improved windmill, because it produces a lot more RF. The windmill hardly produces any RF. I can't remember exactly how much, but it isn't much. The improved windmill, though, requires all the things that the windmill requires. The blades, which are more treated wood, so we're going to need a lot of treated wood, and then a whole bunch of this tough fabric. We need 8 of these improved windmill blades, which means 32 tough fabrics, which means we're going to need 256 industrial hemp fibers. So that's why I wanted to kind of get the industrial hemp thing going first. Once we get a seed, we can stick it in our farm here, in our Ender.io farm, and that should take care of that for us. But the other resources, the steel, actually did I mention steel? We are going to need steel for this, and did we need steel for the watermill? Yeah, and for the watermill. So we're going to need just a few steel ingots. So we'll get into that process in a bit, but let me first get a hemp seed and I will be right back. Hooray, there we go. There's our industrial hemp seed. We didn't need the tall grass. I don't know why I thought we needed the double tall grass, but we just need the regular grass. And it's about a 4.17% chance, it says. 4.17%. So you may have to break, 20, 25 or so. There we go. Hooray! Okay, so I've got an extra hemp seed. Get out of there. I'm going to lock this, and I'm going to put that in there so it'll... Oh wait, I have to unlock it, put it in there, and then lock it real quick. Okay. So now it's always going to keep at least one industrial hemp seed in there so that nothing else will end up in that slot. Wow, we're already almost halfway there. Nice. So I've got... Yeah, it is actually growing pretty fast in there, so I think we're going to be in good shape. Hey, what are you doing here? So the next thing we need to do is figure out how we're going to get steel and the treated wood. And there's 2 multi-block machines that we're going to have to build, and these are actually the most basic machines that Immersive Engineering has. One of them is the coke oven, and the other is the blast furnace. So the coke oven is what we're going to use to make coal coke, which we will then use in the blast furnace to make steel. These are 3x3x3 structures, and as much as I could easily fit them over here, they really don't fit the look of this build. So I'm actually going to build a basement just for that reason, because the Immersive Engineering has what they call a retro-futuristic look, or future retroistic, I don't know, something like that. A retro-futuristic look which basically means that it has a retro look of the future. So what people might have thought the future was going to look like in the past. Okay, I'm just going to use this chiseled stone for now. Eventually, I'm going to put concrete down here, which is a block that we can get from Immersive Engineering. However, we don't have access to it quite yet. Here's our recipe for the coke oven. We're going to have to make 27 of these? Yeah, 27. I would actually, per furnace. So we may as well make, oh boy, more bricks. I'm just going to make a couple stacks of these. But I'm going to make 54 of them right away. So that, one, so we don't have an extra one, and two, because the coke furnace is extremely slow. So we're going to want to have 2 of these guys so that we can produce things a little bit faster. And then we need 27 blast bricks for each blast furnace. Oh boy. So we're going to need a bunch of nether brick too, and a bunch of blaze powder. Oh boy, it looks like I'm going to have to go kill some more blazes. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make 54, and then I'm going to convert them right away into reinforced into these reinforced blast bricks, because the blast furnace is extremely slow, and it has no I/O at all. So you can't pipe stuff into it or pull stuff out of it, which is, you know, not ideal. So we're going to go with the reinforced right away, and to make the reinforced we have to just make a bunch of steel plates. Actually, we can't go with reinforced right away because we need steel, so I guess we'll have to make the blast. We'll have to make that one first. We'll have to make the annoying one first, and then make the slightly less annoying one second. So the coke oven, whoops, we just do this. What? Darn it. Why is it only doing 3 by 3? There we go. Okay. And then we take our engineer's hammer, and we right click on the center block, and then that becomes the front. And then we stick some coal in there, which we can get to right there. And that's going to do 2 things for us. It's going to make coal coke very, 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 very slowly. And it's going to make creosote oil, which is what we need for the treated wood. There. I set them in the floor a little bit so that we can have pipes on the top. I'll probably move that whole floor down 1 level at some point. Grab another stack of coal. And there we go. And then over here, oh boy, we need some light in here, don't we? We're going to stick our blast bricks. And the same thing, right click with our coke oven, with our engineer's hammer. And then this guy, how did I end up? Oh, because I only did 1. This guy we're going to give iron and coal coke. And that is going to make steel. And of course, it would make a whole lot of sense to pipe the coal coke out of here and pipe it into our blast furnace, but we can't actually do that right now because the blast furnace has no I/O whatsoever. So we have to wait until we have enough steel to upgrade this guy, and that is going to take, let's see, wow, it's 1 for 1. So it's actually going to take 27 steel, which is going to take us like a freaking hour. So I'm not even going to bother with that right now, but I probably will make another blast furnace just so that we can get steel a little bit more quickly. Now, the steel is dictionaried with the Neotech steel, so theoretically we could just use Neotech steel, which is a lot faster to make. But for today, we're just going to stick with immersive engineering. This guy also produces slag, which is kind of a garbage product that you have to empty out from time to time. And of course, since we have no I/O here, we can't we can't empty it out. So we'll have to take it out manually, but we can use that. There's one thing we can do with that, and that is make concrete, which could be kind of fun. Oh, we can also trade. If we find an immersive engineering villager, we can trade it for emeralds. Ooh, we need to find one of those guys for sure. But I'm going to make this concrete because that might come in handy for some things. I wonder... Leaded concrete? Okay. I was hoping there might be some other interesting blocks that we could make with it. I know Chisel used to have a concrete block that was or dictionaried with Immersive Engineering's concrete block, and it was a really nice block. It had a lot of nice variations, but it doesn't look like we have that. I've reconfigured things around here a little bit. I've got 2 coke ovens over here now facing my 2 crude blast furnace. As soon as I get 27 steel, I am going to convert one of these into the not so crude version of the blast furnace. Oh, and I've got a fluid tank here from Ender.io, so I'm piping stuff out of here. Now normally it would just store the creosote oil in here, but then once it's full, it's gonna stop working until you empty it out. So so I've got it piped into a Ender.io tank, which is currently full, but that's okay. It should be enough to get us going. But to get creosote oil out of this, basically all you do is you put an empty bucket up here, and it'll pull a bucket of creosote oil out and put it down there. In this case, we can just do this in here, in our Ender.io thing. And that'll pull out a bucket of creosote oil, and with that, we can start making our treated wood. So each bucket makes 1. Makes 8. Obviously, this is something we're definitely... Oh, look at that. Oh, that's nice. It's definitely something we're going to automate, because this is ridiculous, right? I probably have enough steel to do the projects that I want to do, so maybe I'm not even going to bother automating this quite yet, and we'll just move on. We've got enough hemp. I think we've got enough of just about everything. So actually, let's go upstairs. Go outside where our little mailbox is, where we get all of our items from. And we'll throw in our treated wood and our steel ingots. And start making our kinetic dynamos. We're going to make 2 of these. And one kinetic dynamo can hold up to 2 windmills and up to 3 watermills. So that's how many we'll make. Let's see, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4. So 32 of copper plates. You gotta be kidding me. What? Oh, okay. What? So this is Neotech. I don't know what that was. And then forestry. And as you can see, it's taking durability from a hammer. And then from there, let's make our little these wire cutters. And there we go. So we have 32 copper wires. We're going to throw those back in there. Oh, you know what? Each of these makes 4. Oh, crap. So we didn't need that many, but that's okay. We're going to be using these for other things anyway. Now we're going to make water mills, water wheels. So we're going to need 12 of these, which means we're going to need 48 treated sticks. Oh, and we're going to need more treated wood. So how much treated wood are we going to need? We're going to need, I said 12? Okay. Wait, so 36 treated wood. And we get 8 per bucket. I should probably have more than one bucket. Or maybe not have the bucket so far away from here. Hooray! Alright, we've got our water wheels. What about the windmill? Can we do that right away? So we're going to need, let's see, we want to make 2 windmills actually. So we're going to need 16 of these windmill blades. So we're going to need a lot more treated wood. Oh boy. So that is, let's do some math. 16 times 4, that's a stack of treated sticks. Okay, so we're going to need a lot more creosote and such. Okay, we've got a stack of treated sticks and 52 treated wood. We really only need 48 treated wood, so we should be good to go here. That makes 16. That's exactly what we need. Hooray! We'll throw those in there. And then we need 16 times 4, so 64 tough fabrics. Oh boy. Oh, right. Okay, so we do need more industrial hemp. I was thinking we were only going to make one of these guys, so that's why I actually stopped the production of industrial hemp. And 64, hooray. Okay, so now we should be able to make our 16 improved windmills, blades. Yep. And with 2 pieces of iron, we should be able to make our 2 windmill blades. Hooray! I mean, 2 pieces of steel. I've decided I'm just going to stick it right over here. There are our watermill blocks. We want the water to flow around this thing to cause it to turn in a single direction. And the most efficient way would be to have it start right here. Have a source block right here. Have it flow all the way here and then down through the front and then under. I'm just going to put some ugly blocks here for now, and then we'll make it look pretty in a second when we're done. I'll come up with some kind of like chiseled thing here that'll look nice. So that's just to keep the water from flowing in this direction. Yeah, actually that should be fine. And then down here, we want, well, I'm just going to do this for now, but wait, break. We want the water to flow this way. And maybe even one more block. Oops. So we're gonna have to place, let's see, the water is gonna come down here. And we want to make sure that it does not go that way. Or that way. So let's see what happens. Let's stick a bucket of water there. This is, you know, this is just vanilla water mechanics that we're dealing with right now. Oh, I want... So I'm going to put one block in the middle there and let's see how this flows. Okay, perfect. Hooray! You know what? I actually think we could go back one. Producing about 75 RF per tick, and I've got it piping into a capacitor bank just so I can see how much we're producing. It turns out we can't go directly into the capacitor bank. We have to use these wire connectors, which kind of sucks because, well, at least for this particular setup, it kind of sucks. I'll just have to rethink how I want to connect this. So each one of these guys is giving us about 25 RF per tick. know if we could get more than that if we moved this back a little bit, but it wouldn't be much. I mean, we're pretty close to the max. So wire connectors as input-output. So we just put that wherever. I don't know why it's rendering funny like that, but we put that wherever we want to input or output. And then our capacitor bank, maybe we'll put this out there somewhere. That might not be a bad idea. And then we could have conduit facades in here. So yeah, let's do that. Let's put our capacitor bank there. And then we'll just put another connector here. And then we get our wire. Now the wire, I think we can go up to 16 blocks with the wire. So we take our coil. Right now I've got a low voltage wire coil. This is just copper. It's pretty cheap. And we have low voltage, we have medium voltage, which is a little more expensive. Oh wait, actually it's not. It's iron. Okay, well I guess iron is a little bit more valuable than copper. And then we have our high voltage, which is aluminum. Well, actually that's not terribly expensive either. Oh, but we need steel and aluminum wire. Okay, that's not too bad. And the low voltage, actually if we look in our engineer's manual, so each connector can do 256 RF per tick, 1024 or 4096 for the 3 levels. And then the transfer rate in the wire is these. So 2048, 8192, and then 32,000 RF per tick. So it's not a terribly large amount. So if you want to move like a lot of RF, a lot of distances, you're going to have a bunch of wires. So the wire connectors are for connecting. The relays are for carrying wires over long distances. So they'll connect one wire to the next. Now if we just set up the windmill somewhere around here, we're not going to get very much RF. Because the higher up you go in the sky, the faster the windmill is going to spin, and the more RF it's going to generate. So down here at this level, we're probably only going to get like maybe 10 RF per tick. If we want to get a decent amount of RF, we're going to have to go way up to about 255 Y. That's about the it's about the ideal place that you want to be, but you can see that that's really high. I don't want to put it up that high here because it would look silly. It looks so cool, and they're huge. But at this level, they're only producing 19 RF per tick. So that is, what, 9.5 RF per windmill. Right, let's try this. This is still not very high. Not as high. It's not the maximum height. It's not like the ideal height, but we'll see what we get right here. We're at 113. This is by our gunpowder bees, I think. Yeah, our austere. Oh, there we go. I was kind of wondering why that wasn't spinning. Alright, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to put our wire connectors back. I think I lost a wire connector. And our coils. We just need one coil to connect these two, and we are now producing 24 RF per tick. We can double that if we go up way up to 225. Jeez. That's so high. I don't know if it's worth it. It would just look too silly. You know, if I really want to double it, I'll just make another set of these. I think this looks kind of cool right here with a different thing. And this area is chunk loaded because of our bees. Well, as you can see, there's a chunk load right there. Oh, and I have chicken chunks now, so we can actually start using chicken chunks. Alright, I've got a RF Tools power cell out here, and I'm just going to put the power right in there. And this is linked to all our other RF Tools power cells, something we've done lots of times before, using our link card. So we now have about 25 RF per tick coming in from our windmills. And this is going to increase when it rains, which it doesn't rain very often. Well, actually it never rains here because this is a mesa. So I don't know if that matters or not, if it'll still, but it's about 33% better or so when it rains. Like you get about 33% more RF per tick while it's raining. Look at that. We can put our LV wire connector on top of a conduit. That is kind of cool. Let's see. Let's see how this looks. Oh, it's obstructed by our little blood magic lights. There we go. Yeah, I think I'll leave that like that. It looks a little silly, but silly's okay sometimes. In order to place these wires, there cannot be any obstructions, as you saw before, because there was a little light block there. But after you place them, you can place obstructions, and they will still work. So we've now got 75 RF coming in from there. We've got about 100 RF per tick coming in right now from renewable sources that are not costing us a thing. Just adding a little bit of detail work. I actually learned something about the chisels and bits patterns. Something that's kind of new, the chisel designs. In the past, you always had to replace. So you'd have to place something down, and then you could replace it with your pattern. That's no longer the case. You can actually hold down the Alt key now, and you can choose to either replace, impose, or place, or additive, or add to an existing block. So if we do placement, then we can actually just place the block, and it makes it a lot easier. There. Now we have to make a whole array of these. Some other day. Now we have 100 RF per tick of renewable energy that requires no resources, and that actually looks kind of pretty too. Here's our little watermill. I added some wood trim to kind of blend the retro futuristic look with my little, I don't know what you would call that, kind of modern suburban industrial tech thing look. So I don't know about this. I'm probably gonna get rid of that because I don't think I like the way that looks there. But anyway, that's immersive engineering so far. We'll probably play a lot more with this mod. This really, what we just did is my favorite part of this whole mod. Is oh, I need to replace that block there. The whole the windmill and the watermill are actually my favorite things that this mod has to offer. And this is one of those mods that I kind of love and hate. There are things I like about this mod quite a bit, and there are things that I really dislike about this mod. But I do really like the realism of it. It's really well made, and it's a lot of fun to play with. So I do hope you join me in the future as we play with this mod some more. In the next episode, you know, I'm not really even sure what we're going to do on our next episode yet, but I do hope you join me for that. If you did enjoy this, please don't forget to click the like button. If you have any questions or comments or anything else, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.